It is with sadness today that we announce the pending transfer of Cincinnati Zoo's only Sumatran rhino, Harapan, to Indonesia, and with his departure, the end of an era of the Cincinnati Zoo's Sumatran rhino breeding program. Harapan is currently the only Sumatran rhino living outside of Southeast Asia. He was the third calf born at the Cincinnati Zoo, but is now 8 years old and sexually mature. The opportunity for him to breed and contribute to his species' survival exists only at the Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary on the island of Sumatra. And he must be given the opportunity to contribute to his species because they are on the very brink of extinction. There are only 100 Sumatran rhinos left in the world today, and there are only 9 being cared for in captivity. In 1996, when I began my employment as the crew director, then Zoo Director Ed Maruska told me that breeding the Sumatran rhinos had to be crew's highest priority. Through the use of endocrinology, ultrasonography, behavioral observations, and amazing teamwork, we did eventually unravel the mysteries of Sumatran rhino reproduction and were able to breed them successfully right here in Cincinnati. Our first calf, Andalis, was the first Sumatran rhino calf bred and born in captivity in 112 years. In 2004, his sister Suchi was born, and in 2007, his brother Harapan arrived. During that time, the Cincinnati Zoo was the only successful breeding program for this species. But we were working closely with our Indonesian and Malaysian colleagues, trying to transfer all of our knowledge and techniques so they could also succeed. Indonesia has made it clear for years that they will not send any more rhinos out of their country. Therefore, sending Harapan to Sumatra is the best decision for Harapan and his species. Sadly, doing so brings the Sumatran rhino breeding program in the United States to an end. But the legacy of these rhinos and the Cincinnati Zoo's role in the effort to save this species will become a permanent and significant part of the zoo's history and wildlife conservation.
We're the only zoo that's ever successfully cared for them, fed them, figured out how to breed them. And we know it's best for him. His brother lives in the forest and has for 7 years and is breeding, and we expect the same thing for Harry.
Both crew and Cincinnati zookeeper staff will continue to provide support and assistance as requested in Sumatra, and we will all rejoice when we hear the news of another birth, a son or a daughter of either Harapan or Andalis. Because science is now a priority in zoos, we learned a tremendous amount regarding the species' care, physiology, and reproduction during their living tenure in Cincinnati. Harapan is not the last Sumatran rhino. Though the numbers are frighteningly low, Sumatran rhinos still exist in the forests of Sumatra. We believe there is still time to save them, and we are by no means giving that fight up now. But ultimately, the responsibility for saving this magnificent species now lies squarely on the shoulders of our Indonesian colleagues.
You know, our purpose at the zoo, and the reason we wake up early every morning, is to inspire people with wildlife. And so seeing the rarest animal in the world is something pretty darn unique. We've had some of the world's leading biologists come from all around the world, specifically to see Sumatran rhinos here, because it's the only place you can. It is not a species you can easily just go to the forests of Sumatra and find. They're very secretive, and of course they're very few in number.
I want you to keep something in mind, and this is important for the public to hear as well. Harapan is the only Sumatran rhino on view to the public anywhere in the world. And when he leaves, the general public will no longer see this species, except in pictures.